The approximately 40-page document, which the Israeli authorities codenamed Jericho Wall, outlined point by point exactly the kind of devastating invasion that led to the deaths of about 1,200 people. It's a sad day when the New York Times is even using the correct language to describe the deaths that occurred on October 7th, and Al Jazeera is not. Al Jazeera keeps saying Hamas killed 1,200 people. They keep saying that, and it's pissing me the fuck off. Stop it. Stop saying that. That's not true. I'm very, very aware of the possibility that anybody can grow and learn, and this is what I hope for all of us. I know, like, on Blue Sky right now, if you're on Blue Sky, I'm running this mute list called Zionist Scum. So if somebody ever shows like a certain characteristic that I list, like say they're going around saying Israel has the right to defend itself, they're saying like Zionist lies, etc., etc. I put them on the list, to make sure that people like don't engage with them, and we can better control the traffic of Zionism on that website. Do we have to sit here or do you protest? Is it possible to go fight on the front line? Not really a good idea to do that. Are you talking about going to Gaza? Gaza? Still trying to figure out how to say it. I need to re-listen to that VOD with Cole and like learn the pronunciations. If you're talking about going to the front line, as in going to Gaza, don't consider doing that. It doesn't make any sense to do that. You're probably just gonna die. What a frontline fight could look like is you doing direct action to disable the Israeli genocide machine, because the Israeli genocide machine is happening. It is in action in Gaza right now and in the West Bank.
Young_black_economist just resubscribed for 14 months. Wow, the black buys are back.
Young Black Economist! Thank you for the 14 months. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, what you want to do, if you really want to do fighting on the front lines, it's not worth spending all the money and effort to go to Gaza where there's a blockade. You won't be able to get in anyways, and then like if you did, it would be extremely detrimental. I don't think that's the smartest use of resources or life, personally. And none of the Palestinian organizations that I've been paying attention to, including the PFLP, PFLP, excuse me, the Palestinian Front for the Liberation of the People's Front for Liberation of Palestine. Holy shit! Wake up! The PFLP is not, which is, by the way, one of the armed groups that is fighting along Hamas to try to prevent Israel from annexing Gaza right now. They're not telling any of us to come down there. So I'm just saying, if you want to take a page out of their book, what they're asking you to do is to speak truth to the Palestinian perspective, to defeat the Zionist lies, to disassemble the Zionist war machine, the genocide machine. For instance, if you were to handcuff yourself to the doors of Elbit weapons manufacturer, which is one of the biggest weapons manufacturers for Israeli genocide material, that would be something that would be fighting on the front lines, as far as I can, like, in my, that's the way that I translate that. Hey Sakura, what's up? How are you? Welcome. Welcome, welcome. You have bottom surgery, Shireen? Ooh, congrats. 5 weeks ago. Congrats. Yeah, by the way, what I just told you is probably illegal, so don't do that. But what I'm saying is, if one were to do something like fight on the front lines, that is what one would do. However, I would never advise that, because we love Joe Biden and America and the law here. For the record. I felt that urge to want to go to Egypt. I felt that urge to go to the blockade in Egypt and to stand and protest there. Even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it costs way more money than like the money could be used in a better way, even if my voice wouldn't be best used there, I have felt that urge to do that because I feel like I have to. Because even if it doesn't make sense, I can't just sit here seeing what I'm seeing and not physically, at least make myself physically present there. You know what I mean? So if that mirrors any of your feelings, then let me know, because that's the way that I'm feeling right now. But my body being present at a blockade isn't actually the best use of my body. The best use of my body right now would be engaging in direct action in the country that is conducting the genocide, that is fueling the genocide, America, the country I currently live in, when I'm in close proximity to, say, weapons manufacturers right now. That's the logic that I've been applying to this. That I have more of an, if I'm going to be sacrificing my life, because that's what effectively you'd be doing if you go to Gaza right now. If you're trying to go into Gaza and fight, you would effectively be sacrificing your life. I think there's more effective ways to go about your activism than that, personally. And again, this isn't just my opinion. I'm taking a page out of the PFLP's book here, where they're not asking people in the West to come to Gaza. I feel like if they wanted us to come to Gaza, they would ask us to come to Gaza. They're not mincing words here. They're already listed as a terrorist organization. Like, they're not like, ooh, we better like watch what we say. I think they've been hijacking planes and shit historically. Like, they're not actually trying to like tiptoe here. So that's the way that I'm conducting myself right now. I'm trying to take a page out of their book. So who are the communists fighting for Palestine?
The Communists Fighting for Palestine. The Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, or the PFLP, is a Palestinian Marxist-Leninist and revolutionary organization founded after the Six-Day War in 1967. Founded by Palestinian doctor and Christian George Habash, though it operates as—
Who was raised Greek Orthodox Christian? Thank you very much. That means we're probably related. That means I have PFLP blood in my veins. I'm not going to look into that any further. Yes, I just want to believe. Oh, they're tangies. Guess I'm going to support Israel now.
As secular, meaning religion plays no role in its structure or motive. Previously, the PFLP gained notoriety in the 1960s and 70s for hijacking planes to draw attention to their cause.
It makes me want to listen to that PFLP song now. The one when they say we come out of the rock. It's so, I love this song so much. I have to make a correction. I believe this is the DFLP. Wait, is it the PFLP? So the bandanas with the one text and the one text is PFLP if it's red. If it's red, but there's two texts, it may be DFLP. I'm not sure, though. DFLP is the Democratic Liberation... Wait. PFLP is the People's Liberation Front for Palestine. DFLP is the Democratic Liberation Front for Palestine, yeah. Sorry, okay. Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine, thank you. What do you see as a solution that will make both sides content enough to end the fighting forever? There is no solution that makes an oppressor content unless they oppress. I'm not interested in both sides being happy. Nor should you. Why would we, what I fail to understand is why anyone thinks that Israel's position, Israel's opinion should be cared about here. Abolish Israel. Land back for Palestine. Land back for Palestinians. Let them return home. And Israel be damned. Sorry if you're crying about it, but fuck you. Sorry. Shouldn't have stolen people's land and homes in the first place. Shouldn't have fucking violently forced them out of their lands.
God. The victim tipped $50.
I condemn this. I am so condemning this right now. Ooh. Ooh. You stop that. Stop that. It's not cool as hell. It's not actually cool as fucking hell. Yeah, why did they just vote harder against the ship? If you are not Palestinian and you are making declarations about what Palestinians need, you are being a colonizer. It's not your fucking, it's not for you to say. Whenever I'm talking about how Israel needs to be abolished, whenever I'm talking about how Palestinians deserve all of their land back and how they should have every single inch of their own land taken back, no two-state solution bullshit, I'm echoing what Palestinians are telling me. I'm echoing the words of the Palestinian resistance. I am not coming up with this on my own. Y'all need to fucking stop making the, like, issuing these like prescriptions for what Palestine needs, because they're not reflecting what Palestinians are saying. But yeah, no, 100%. That's a really good point, that like having being like, hey, we're exchanging them for the women and children in your prisons, as opposed to exchanging for the Hamas prisoners. That is very interesting. So that is more of a win. And it should also be said that this was the original intention of October 7th. In my, I can't speak for the entirety of it. In my opinion, I do think October 7th was in part meant to terrorize Israelis, given, and I know that word is a lot of stigma attached to it. I personally don't stigmatize it because it is terrorizing a population that is engaging in genocide, even if they are not feeling like they're directly doing that. But by virtue of the fact that they are in a settler colonial state and their existence necessitates constant violence, constant displacement, constant horrors, constant genocide. So like if somebody wants to if somebody wants to vote for Joe Biden, vote for fucking Joe Biden. Either Joe Biden or Trump's gonna be elected. Both are horrible people. Both are gonna murder Arabs. And whatever. There are pros to Trump being elected. I feel like if Trump were elected, maybe liberals would start to see that, you know, Israel sucks, actually. maybe liberals would have an easier time understanding what the United States is doing is evil. But then again, they would be liberals and they would say it's because Trump is bad, not the United States. So maybe not. Whatever. I don't know. I know a lot of people say they're both the exact same. If you want to say that, fine. I do think there are differences, but like, I'm not going to go around telling people to vote for Joe Biden. I feel like that is, honestly, I feel like it's racist to do that. For me to tell people to vote for Joe Biden means that I'm telling Arab people to vote for their oppressor. Is there going to be a VOD? This will be a VOD. Yeah, today's stream will be a VOD. I unpublished a lot of VODs. A lot of VODs because there are fascists going around, Zionists that are going down right now, trying to clip chimp people to get them banned. It's already happened to one of us. It's already happened to Idan Simpson. So in order to protect my channel, because I have been saying a lot of things that can be construed as terrorism, hate, anti-Semitism, if you will. You know, you've seen how shit's been going down lately. I pulled my VODs. I don't know if it's gonna be a permanent pull, but I just did just for now because I can't with that. But this one I'll leave up because I think we've been pretty uncontroversial, you know, fairly, relatively speaking. By the way, chat, can I get a PFLP flag without getting on a list? Do you think I necessarily will get on a fucking list for that? I saw someone waving that at one of the protests, yesterday's protest, and I was like, that's an amazing flag. I want that flag. But the PFLP is technically a terrorist organization. So I don't know if I can actually swing that. Yeah, don't do it. Okay, I won't do it. In fact, my name Kira, I named myself Kira after Kira Nerys, who is a terrorist fighting, who fought the fascist occupation of her planet. She calls herself a terrorist, for the record. I'm not just saying that. And this is also why I don't have an issue with the word terrorist. A lot of people have like a stigma attached to it. And I understand that, like, you don't want to go around saying Palestinian resistance fighters are terrorists. I understand that. And I wouldn't use that word to describe a lot of them, but like, there are terrorists that are fighting for Palestinian liberation. But I don't find that to be a stigmatizing label because it's the nature of what you have to do when you are an occupied people and have no other choice. But I wouldn't just say that willy-nilly around liberals because they're going to take that as, so that's evil people thing. They're evil people. And I don't believe that, as you can tell. About resistance and the terrorist thing. Oh, thank you, Dilvakin. That's so sweet of you to say. I'm base. Thank you. Yeah, so like in the beginning of like right after October 7th, I was saying Hamas terrorists to describe Hamas fighters. And then I did that for like a little bit on one stream. And then the next day I apologized because I'm like, listen, as much as I may personally agree with the label being applied here, I recognize that there's a moral weight added to it that I don't agree with. So until that's rectified, you know, and until there's like a decent movement to like kind of redefine what it means to be a terrorist in terms of like how we digest it morally speaking, I probably am not going to use that word. I'll probably use resistance fighters, resistance, militants, soldiers. But terrorists, even if they are being terrorists, I don't think it's appropriate because I'm always going to be around some liberal is going to think I'm saying Hamas bad. Oh, apparently Human Rights Watch, which I've already suspected is not great, is biased towards Israel. Just officially, let me say that, put that out there. The Human Rights Watch is biased towards the Zionist occupation. They present themselves as like this organization that is like perfectly neutral, kind of like Doctors Without Borders. They are not, actually. They are biased towards Zionism. They do some good work sometimes, but who fucking cares? So everything I've read from everything that we've been managed to get out of these hostages, you know, that Israel hasn't completely shut down, shows that Israel, or sorry, excuse me, not Israel, Hamas treated the hostages very well, ate the same food that Hamas, the hostages ate the same food that Hamas ate, which is very important because food is a very much like what you ingest is very much a indicator of like care. So compare that to the Palestinian children, like actual children being kept in Israeli prisons, being fed white or just uncooked rice as their food. Compare that to Hamas eating the same food as the hostages. Also, whenever they could give them medicine, they gave them. It wasn't always accessible because of the whole Israel genociding Gazans thing and blockading their access to any supplies thing. But they gave them medicine whenever they could, healthcare whenever they could. What's another one? generally just try to emotionally support them by being like kind and supportive to their trauma, and also kept the hostages together. So families were kept with their families, which is again something Israel doesn't do. I saw this mother and this daughter that were separated when they were in prison. Israel purposely separated them and put them in solitary confinement to make sure that they could not have any access to each other and could not support each other. This is a common thing that Israel does. So it's like the immense dehumanization that Israel is conducting against Palestinian people, compared to the kindness and basically the treating Israeli hostages like family that Hamas is doing. So some fun facts about the Palestinian resistance. So, the October 7th was not the first time that resistance fighters utilized gliders to fly over occupied lands. The night, it said, today we remember, this is a few days ago, we remember the night of the gliders operation carried out by the Syrian Arab martyr Khaled Aker and the Tunisian Arab martyr Miloud bin al-Najah on behalf of the PFLP on November 25th, 1987. Our heroes flew into an IOF base. This is so badass, you're gonna lose your mind. Our heroes flew into an IOF base using gliders in occupied Palestine on hang gliders all the way from Syrian-controlled South Lebanon, armed with AK-47s, silenced pistols, and hand grenades. Aker was captured and martyred, meaning killed by Israel. Al-Najah swept in, killing 6 IOF soldiers and injuring 8 more as he fired his AK at the usurpers without mercy and hurled grenades into IOF tents. These martyrs were hailed as heroes, and the slogan 6 to 1, or 6:1, became popular among Palestinians mocking settlers in Gaza. This is back when settlers did live in Gaza. And also, I've been taking so much time off from my stream because I have been doing a lot of real life action stuff for Palestine, and that means I don't stream. And I'm not gonna stream my actions. I'm not gonna like do like horrible I'm not gonna like ruin the OPSEC of a bunch of activists because I want to like make sure I keep my stream alive. Hold on, is this a song? No. Hold on. This is a song! Okay, this is a song that I've been trying to get you to listen to. Okay, what is this called? Is it called a death sentence? I think it's called a death sentence. Dive into the Palestinian tunes. If you want this playlist, it's 5 hours long, so there's plenty of stuff to listen to. Exclamation point music if you want a link. It's very good. It's I think it's like a PFLP playlist, I believe. The approximately 40-page document, which the Israeli authorities codenamed Jericho Wall, outlined point by point exactly the kind of devastating invasion that led to the deaths of about 1,200 people. It's a sad day when the New York Times is even using the correct language to describe the deaths that occurred on October 7th, and Al Jazeera is not. Al Jazeera keeps saying Hamas killed 1,200 people. They keep saying that, and it's pissing me the fuck off. Stop it. Stop saying that. That's not true. And not only is it not true, but we're still learning more and more. You don't know everything that happened on October 7th. Why would you definitively announce who the murderer is of every single person on October 7th? That's just sloppy reporting. It's very fucking annoying. Instead, the Israeli military was unprepared as terrorists streamed out of the Gaza Strip. It was the deadliest day in Israel's history. Can I just say, just to put this out there, I fucking take so much offense. I'm not Jewish, to be clear, but like I still, as like a person, take so much offense to the framing that it was the deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. Because that implies so much and also dismisses so much. This isn't like a country full of Jewish people and also tons of other people, and specifically Jews were sought out. This isn't a plan to specifically genocide Jewish people because they are Jewish people. Like, if you were if you're insisting that every Jewish person on the planet needs to move to one spot, and then that one spot, you besiege and terrorize and genocide the indigenous people for decades and decades and decades, and then those indigenous people fight back, you cannot claim this is just like the Holocaust. They're targeting Jews. It's such bad faith framing. I hate the framing. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Hey, Squiditor. What's up, by the way? It automatically makes this seem like the attack was anti-Semitic. Yes, correct. Which is something that people keep repeating. Like, Israel, you're the one that insisted Jews live there, and only Jews live there. Like, that's not Palestine's fault. That's your fault. You're the one who did that. It's not like Palestine collected all the Jews and put them there and then attacked them. You put them there and then armed them and then had them genocide indigenous people for decades. Ugh. At least if it's embedded in Discord. I don't think it is ever embedded in, like, typically the TikToks that I see in Discord are like, actually, I don't know. I can't speak to that. If the colonizer was someone else, it would be the same fucking reaction. Exactly. It'd be the same fucking reaction. 100%. I should read it. I think I saw an article that said something in the header that was akin to what I just said, and I should read it because I wonder what it says. I wonder if it'll be nice and cathartic to read. Even if they want to make the claim that the IOF is responsible for many deaths of Israelis that day, Hamas only takes responsibility for 300 deaths that day. Can I just make an announcement before we continue with this article? Because I think I'm gathering what this article is about, but we're gonna get. I just want to get the details of exactly, at least according to the New York Times, how deep their Israel's denial has went and what it led to. But I'm seeing a lot of parallels. Okay, I'm gonna back up and not say the scathing remark I was about to say. I will say, like, Hamas is not known for like lying to people about what deaths they cause. They like proudly own up to killing people when they do. They will be like, or they'll be like, yeah, we kill people, but that wasn't our objective. But they will actually, like, okay, so listen, I'm not an expert, but my rudimentary understanding of Hamas, and I'm trying to become better and better about understanding them, is that they're not like ever trying to spin any of their shit. They plainly admit what they do. They plainly admit when they like, when something fucks up, say what you will about them, but they're not like the type that go around lying about what they've done. Like, so, whereas Israel is always lying about what they're doing. Always. So if Hamas is like, yeah, we ended up killing these many people on October 7th, and Israel's like, no, you didn't, you killed more, I'm believing Hamas, sorry. Because Hamas has like, from what I've gathered from my rudimentary research, Hamas has a pretty solid track record of like admitting to and taking responsibility for every single death. In a multi-continental effort that could provide a credible alternative to China-led Belt and Road Initiative, which has pushed many countries into a debt trap besides losing control over their assets. How much truth is there to that? Well, is China doing a little bit of an imperialism on its own? Not really on the scale of US imperialism, but of course American liberals will see it as evil while being blind to their own place within the structures of white supremacy. I've kind of just made the decision to not, I don't know. People always like demanding that I like take a stand against China. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to criticize certain things they do that are very clearly like, I don't know. You know when like people are like, oh, don't judge the Democrats because even though they're consistently horrible, they have a plan. You know that's bullshit. I get the feeling that maybe China does have a plan. So like, as much as that type of mindset is like thoroughly bullshit when it's trying to like run defense for America, because it's clear their track record is clearly shown they do not have a plan beyond greed. I don't know. I get the impression that China does have a fucking plan. China's been very aggressive for the Palestinians. I remember the first days, China's statements were much stronger than Arab countries. Wow. I do know, though, that China does do business with Israel, that China has advocated for, like, they definitely do business with Israel, so Israel does get funds from China, and China advocates for a two-state solution. So, I'm not happy about that. So from what I'm reading is that early project loans were over-ambitious and given to places that couldn't pay them back, putting them in debt, but pulled back afterwards and started being more cautious about who they gave loans to and is actively working to restructure old debts. The Chinese debt trap myth was debunked by Western outlets like Bloomberg. Really? Was even debunked by fucking Bloomberg? That's amazing. So this publication we just read is very like a very pro Modi fascist rag, probably. If it's saying stuff like the Chinese debt trap and it's speaking well of Modi and thinking of him as some sort of liberator, then we can pretty much throw it in the trash. It's more than a little frustrating that the evidence for Uyghur genocide is tenuous at best, is generated by far-right sources, and was regularly used by and repeated by the very same Biden camp liberals who refuse to call what's happening in Gaza genocide. Also, when I've been trying to dig into the Uyghur, so-called Uyghur genocide. My understanding of it is that the U.S. is funding groups to basically like destabilize China, and instead of like just killing those people, has instead tried to like re-educate them so they can actually be not a destructive part of Chinese society. That's my understanding of actually what the situation is. Now, you may disagree with the means to which they pursue that, and I think there's a conversation to be had, but it's a far different scenario than like what liberals, it sounds like to me that it's a far different scenario than what liberals can insisting it is, which is like the evil Chinese people just hate Muslims. And now they're just stealing their children and genociding them culturally. But it's also really hard to get any information, honestly, because it's so much of it is just State Department nonsense. And like Cusker said, it is fucking remarkable that the same people sobbing over so-called Uyghur genocide are also the same people that don't seem to give any fucks about Palestinians. There's a great unpacking of the Uyghur propaganda and its primary sources. Red Sails, maybe? I would love to, like, if you have, like, an article that I could read, because I'm not into videos. I can't fucking be bothered just to watch somebody. Just give me an article. Let me read it in my own time. Let me pull it up while I'm watching something. I'll read an article. If you have an article or articles, I would love to read those. Maybe not right now, but like generally speaking, maybe post it in my Discord or something. Or post it here so I can save it for later. So like, it's fucking China. This is why I'm never gonna be like China good. Like some people are so like China good that they like refuse to like criticize, and I'm never gonna be like that with any entity, nor should anybody, I think. Like always try to understand reality as like not like a fucking sports team or something.